everyone, welcome to CTRL+Drama, the podcast where Reddit loses control and the drama takes over. I'm Ani.
And I'm Luna. Every week we cycle between chaos and chills, drama one week and horror the next.
It's drama week, which means messy relationships, secrets that should have stayed buried, and the kind of grief that permanently changes how you see people. Tonight, we're diving into a friend group holding onto a secret that could implode everything, a deathbed confession that shattered an entire family, a moment of loss that forces people to confront thoughts they're too afraid to admit out loud. These are stories where there's no clean villain, no perfect response, just humans making impossible choices in public. So if you're ready to start judging strangers, respectfully, or not, let's get into it!
All right, chat, make sure you pick a side early. We're absolutely revisiting your opinions, all right?
Alright, so it's 4 stories. My stories are kind of long, Luna's are a bit shorter, but we're changing it up this week because we're adding in polls for y'all to, interact with us a little more.
And that's how we are revisiting your opinions. So make sure you get in early so that you can help us judge, because you might be able to sway our opinion one way or the other.
So this one is one of the best of Redditor updates. It has 3 updates, okay? When I first read this, I was like, ooh, spicy. All right, this one is called My Friend Has a Secret That Can Blow Up Our Entire Friend Group. It was originally posted on Off My Chest. All right, the trigger warnings for this is infidelity, manipulation, and fraud. So I, 27 female, have a bit of background on our friend group to illustrate the gravity of the situation. I'm in a friend group of about 8 people, which was essentially founded by these 2 guys, Mark, 28 male, and Jay, 29 male. Mark is single, but Jay has a fiance, Allie, 36 female, and he's getting married next summer. Nobody else is really relevant. I like how she was like, no one else is relevant. Oh well. Mark and Jay have been best friends for years. I think they're coming up on like 22. They were neighbors, went to the same school, got into the same college so they wouldn't have to be separated. They're actually platonic soulmates, to the point of finishing each other's sentences a lot, like all the time. They are the glue that holds the entire friendship together. When Jay and Allie first got together, Mark was a little weird about it, mostly due to the age gap. But he's come around a lot. They still don't get along perfectly, but he says he's happy for both of them and is going to be the best man at their wedding. Last week, Mark got a promotion and Jay was out of town scouting out venues, so he invited me to go and get trashed with him. Near the end of the night, he was hammered and grabbed my arm and told me that he had a secret.
Ooh.
Yeah. And that I couldn't tell any of our friends because nobody knows. He told me he was in love with Jay and has been for years. He went on to great detail about how attractive he found him, how good he had been to him all his life, and then he got this really freaked out look on his face. He said he didn't think he can sit there and smile while the love of his life married someone who can't even commit to his birthday to memory. Wait, how are you gonna marry somebody that doesn't remember your birthday? Whatever.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
If I'm getting married to you, bitch, my birthday better come first. That better be better than Christmas to you. Just kidding. To be fair, Jeff and I have a cheat code. Our birthdays are a day apart, so.
All right, Ani, I'll remember your birthday.
I'm just kidding. I'm not even a big birthday person. But I do have friends who have like month-long birthday celebration.
Crazy. That's excessive.
I mean, I used to think so, but then now I look at it as I love myself thing, which is good. Not in a cocky way, but I think it's good in a, if I don't love myself, who's gonna love me type shit.
I think there are, for like a month though, that's crazy. That's like me saying the whole month of April is like my month and like nobody else can do anything crazy about it.
Girl,
like,
you know
bitch,
why I'm so
I
tired?
can't party.
I
It's
have
because you're all the
friends-
time out of your house.
Yeah.
You're never at your house anymore. And for you, that's crazy because you don't like leaving your house.
No, I would If I could stay home, I would love to stay home. Much less write a speech talking about how good their relationship is. He started getting teary-eyed, and the closer the wedding got, the worse he was feeling and how he really needed someone to be there for him, which I agreed to. I am really bad at keeping secrets. People don't tell me a lot of secrets because I tend to blab. I don't mean to. I just let stuff slip all the time. It's something I've gotten better at, but still. I cannot tell this one, but it's been sitting on my chest like stones on Giles Corey. What the fuck is Giles Corey?
I think it's just, you know, a quarry with rocks in it, you know?
Yeah.
Oh no.
I didn't even know Mark was queer. I'm a bisexual woman myself, so I would know how good some people can be at hiding it. And Allie is fine, honestly. Like, she's nice and all, but I wouldn't call her and Jay a perfect match or anything. She tends to hang out with a group. Unless if Jay is there, I'd call her an acquaintance. I feel like all I can do is wait for some sort of blast wave. Like, I need to get into a bunker. I told Mark I'd be there for him, but he was so drunk, I don't even think he remembers telling me. I have no idea what to do here, if anything. So that was the initial post.
So they also have comments and updates.
You want to read the
You want to
comment?
read her? Okay, so relevant comments. Commenter number 1. Sounds like a drunken confession that as long as he forgets it, then you should as well. It's like, it isn't like he confessed that he was going to crash the wedding or run away with Jay the day before the wedding. This is his inner emotions that really you wouldn't know if Mark had not been so drunk. Why involve yourself at all unless you're asked? You have time to process the facts and be prepared to be a support leading up to the wedding in case something happens, but other than that, not your business, not your problem.
All right, so OP said, that's what I'm worried about, that Mark will do something stupid. I love him, but he's a little dramatic. If Jay finds out, then it could be really bad. And if Mark tries something at Jay's wedding, it could be really, really bad.
Commenter 2 said, any chance Jay will be into Mark also? If not, I'd take Mark's secret to the grave with me.
When you're friends that long, it's hard to tell, I'd say. If he is, he's spectacular at hiding it. When I first met him, I thought they were together. I think they should just be
Wow.
together.
Genuinely, though. Unless, like, unless Jay is secretly, like, homophobic. But not if there's gay people in the friend group. He just might not be, like, gay.
I mean, this is a friend group of 8. The other people don't matter, though.
Yeah, that's true. Commenter 3 says, you say Jay is great at hiding possible romantic feelings for Mark, but then you say you thought they were together when you first met them. I'm confused.
I mean, they were both always with each other. At the time they lived together, we met in college. They were roommates. I mean, for the first hour or two of knowing. See, I feel like that's a flag already. Like, it's kind of telling, nah?
Yeah. Well, okay, so are you really best friends if your, like, acquaintances don't suspect that you're, like, secretly gay together, you know? I feel like it's different from men, but,
No.
you know.
Even with men, you should be even more unhinged. Have you seen... Okay, you've seen Jeff with Skylar.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Okay, you have a point. Never mind. You know what?
They're not even best friends. They're just friends.
Well, I was thinking of, like, all the stigma around it. Like, there's a lot of men that are just, like, no homo, and, like, you know, trying to pretend like they're not gay. But maybe I'm just thinking about, like, teenage boys. I don't know.
It might just be teenage boys, because I feel like older guys don't really care nowadays.
Yeah, I feel like they're more, like, secure in their sexuality, so they're always, like, more risky, I guess, would be the word. Whenever I was in high school and I had a best friend, we had been best friends for, like, 14 years. And, so everyone thought that we were, like, me, her, and another girl were, like, in a 3-way relationship, and I was like, no, neither of them are. First of all, neither of them are gay. I mean, we might, like, joke around and, like, be, like, really physical with each other, but we're not, like, together or, like, making out or anything like that. Like, there's no PDA like that. Like, chill, guys. Stop shipping me and my besties. So I kind of get it. All right, so comment number 4. Have you spoken to Mark about when he's been sober? Just ask him what he expects you to do with all this information and go from there.
I did yesterday. At first, he tried to convince me he was joking, but dropped it after a minute to beg me not to tell anyone. I'm starting to get worried about him.
That's stressful.
Yeah.
Commenter number 5 said, do you think he told you because he knows you're shit at keeping secrets and he's hoping you'll spill it?
God, I hope not. Sorry, I had to be dramatic. Outing people is a secret I can keep, fortunately. You
Good
know
friend.
what? I think I get what she means though, because when I'm drunk and you know, you can get anything out of me. I'm like, yeah. Well, guess what? I know this and this and this.
Note to self, hang out with Ani more when she's drunk.
Bitch, the whole week you spent with me, we were like wasted.
We were. And sleep deprived. It was a great time. It was crazy. Listen. There's a difference between getting her drunk and then her telling, like, randoms and then her spilling all of her secrets to the girlies, okay? When she gets the group of girls together, that's when she's like, bitch, let me tell you.
I forgot that this happened. Oh, wait, I wasn't supposed to tell you. Yeah. I only like specific people, though, when I'm drunk.
Dude, I feel that. Whenever I'm drinking, I have to be, like, with people that I enjoy being around, or else I won't drink. And then, like, I remember whenever I was drinking with you at your house, I was like, if I drink any more of this, I'm gonna be fucked up. And you're like, bitch, do it. And I was like, okay.
Oh, well.
I was like, okay, I'm doing it. So funny.
So, we're going into update number 2. This happened 4 days later. The friend group ending secret is so much worse than I thought it was. I've been texting with Mark. He's been drinking more and making less sense. I had to come over to his place a few nights ago and keep him company. He was completely wasted and sobbing like a baby. He found a therapist and scheduled an appointment, but it's still a ways out. I took the alcohol out of his apartment as per his request and stayed with him until he went to sleep. But while he was drunk, he dropped another bombshell on me. Are you guys ready for this? I don't know. Apparently, a little over a year ago, Jay and Mark hooked up while once again drunk. They don't have alcohol problems and they don't drink that often. They're just both bad drunks and tend to make really stupid decisions while plastered, don't we all? Texting exes and getting into fights usually. A week later, Jay met Allie, and a month after that, they got together. He told me he was already head over heels for Jay at that point, and it really took a toll on him. They remained friends and never talked about it again, but it's been eating away at Mark ever since. I feel fucking awful for the poor guy. I did notice about a year ago that dynamic got really weird for a few months, but I figured it was just due to Allie being thrown into the mix. This is so damn messy. Also, no, I wasn't gonna tell anyone with stake in it. Stop treating me like a gossipy churchgoer desperate to ruin the lives of those around her. None of my friends have read it, so I'll take the risk that they'll see this. I'll update if anything else big happens. Bye! I love the way she writes. Like, at least she knows how to write in English.
Yeah, she's so sassy. She's like, if I knew her in real life, she'd probably like be the kind of person that snaps a Z, you know?
Wait, how does it?
My mom does it, so it's like snap, snap, snap. Okay, so OP responds to downvoted commenter regarding the possibility of Jay hurting Mark and Allie and the relationship between Jay and Mark. OP should out Jay to Allie. So the comment pretty much said that OP should out Jay to Allie and, like, you know, pretty much expose them to the girlfriend. And OP says, that's a weird conclusion to me after seeing tiny snapshots of a relationship through the eyes of another person. You're talking about one of my best friends like he's a manipulative monster. Knowing enough about Jay, he's probably struggling with it too. Mark isn't out. Jay isn't out. He may not be queer. He may just have been experimenting and felt safe with Mark. Obviously, I haven't talked to Jay about it, but he's a genuinely good person, and I can't imagine he knows the depth of how Mark feels since they mutually agreed not to discuss it further, and he wouldn't be hurting him like this if he knew. Mark's made it clear he hasn't told Jay the extent of his feelings. I'm not gonna blow up my friend's life. I will never out somebody, at least not on purpose.
Yeah.
She's a good I tell you, she's a very good friend.
OP has a point. So, this is the last update. It happened December 13th, 2025. Oh shit, this is all super recent.
Oh, that's fresh. That's like, yeah.
Yeah.
That's just last month. Yeah.
Nearly 3 weeks later.
So wait, this whole thing is really fresh. If the update was only like last month, and then it was 3 weeks before this last update, wow. That means it happened probably in November when this happened. Oof. It gives perspective.
It's like, damn. That's why everything is so relatable. A lot of weird stuff has happened in my friend group. For those coming in late, the long and the short of it is that my friend Mark is in love with his best friend of 22 years, Jay. They hooked up about a year and some change ago, but now Jay is engaged to his fiancée, Allie. I only learned this from Mark while drunk a few weeks back. So lately, my girlfriend and I have been helping keep Mark sober. We tried to encourage him to talk to Jay about all of this, but he refused and said, wouldn't do any good. I'm still not sure if Jay knows how Mark feels, but I'm not about to start
Prodding.
prodding. What does that mean?
Like poking the bear type thing.
Oh, I didn't even know there's a word for that.
Prodding would be like nudging something. Like you prod him awake or something. Yeah.
Then last week, something weird happened. Jay sent a text to the group chat and said that he and Allie had ended their engagement and their relationship entirely. He said he'd say more in a while, but right when he was busy with damage control, cute, 20-somethings freak out, I immediately called Mark and asked if he had anything to do with this, and he said no, which I believed. He seems just as surprised as we were and was trying not to lose it. I texted Jay asking if he was alright, and he said he needed some time to think, but thanked me for checking in. The next few days were insane, in part due to the big news, but also due to other relevant stuff. Our dog ate... oh, sorry.
Oh no!
Our dog ate part of a weed brownie. She's fine. Normally we kept that stuff far beyond her reach, but this time it was accidentally left out. I mean...
I've had a dog do that, and they got so, like, drooly and tired, and they, like, stumble, and I'm just like, please tell me you're not dying.
Wait, but they actually make some specifically for dogs.
Yeah, but for, like, humans, the amount that it gets a human high, like, the amount that it needs to get a human high, is way too much for a dog, so they get, like, super greened out, and they're like...
Ooh. Okay. Oh, poor doggy. I'm glad the dog is fine. There was a lot of gossip and curiosity. Allie wouldn't answer any texts, but eventually Jay reached back out and told us. So Allie had chosen her own engagement ring pretty much. The only thing she didn't customize was an inscription on the inside of the ring that Jay got as a surprise. Well, she got in the shower a week or so ago and took off all her jewelry before she got in and left it at the bedside table. Jay picked up the engagement ring to admire it. Apparently, it wasn't at all cheap. And notice the inscription wasn't there, and the band was kind of a different metal than the one he chose. First of all, why are you not showering together? Best way to save water and to avoid this whole thing. It looked much more weathered. She had a second near identical engagement ring from another man. Ooh. I know. After a lot of confrontation, she admitted that Jay was in fact the other man, and she was already married and had been for years. She planned on leaving him at the altar just to sell the ring. A plan so stupid I could not believe she made it this far. Allie isn't exactly known for how smart she is. She once asked if Mark spoke Black French or White French because he's mixed race Creole. He's not even white mixed. And I'm still wondering what she meant by it. Obviously, Jay cut her off and he got the ring back. What the fuck does Black French or White French even mean? French is just French.
This whole thing is absolutely insane.
Yeah, no, when I was reading it, I was like, God damn. I didn't even know if I was gonna pick it or not because it was so long, but I was like, it's got so much drama. Mark has always been pretty much by Jay's side ever since the announcement. And to his credit, he genuinely doesn't seem to have an ulterior motive. He just wants to be there for Jay during a tough time. At this point, I have no idea what's running through that man's head. My girlfriend suggests I remove myself a little for a bit, and I agreed. I don't need to be in the middle of this. Anyway, that's all for now. It's all very weird and complicated. I'll update if anything else happens.
Jesus. What a twist, though.
Yeah.
All right, so relevant comment says, any chance that it's coincidence for Mark and Jay to get together now that Jay has called off the engagement?
I don't know. I don't think either of them are ready for that or ever will be in Jay's case. I mean, to be fair, Jay did get severely fucked over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. That sucks a lot. I feel bad for them.
Yeah, that's wild, though. That is the dumbest thing, just to sell an engagement ring for what? What are you going to pawn it for? A few $1,000s?
Well, some engagement rings are like $12,000, and that's a good amount of money.
But doesn't the value go down if you, like... Isn't it like a car, basically? If the value goes down once you, like, walk out with it or whatnot?
I mean...
I don't know
if
anything
you,
about
like...
that.
If it doesn't have any, like, visible scuff marks or anything, or, like, you don't lose any of the, like, stones in it, I don't think the value goes down by much. If anything, like, if you buy it for, like, $12,000, you could probably sell it back for, like, $10,000. It probably just has, like, a little bit of a dent on it. I don't know. I don't know anything about engagement rings.
So what you're telling me... I'm just kidding. I'm not going to say it.
Yeah?
I'm not going to go into it.
She's trying to put a ring on it, chat.
No, I was gonna say, so what you're telling me is if it doesn't work out with Jeff, I can just go on and start getting engaged to a bunch of people and return those rings and be like, nah, I don't want to marry you anymore. This ain't working out. Just kidding.
No, it has to be like a big scandal where it's like, you're cheating on me, insert man's name here. I'm leaving, and then you storm off with the ring, and then you go pawn. And then either they're cheating or they're not cheating. Right. And they'll be like, she's mistaken, and be a heartbreaker, Ani. You'll be a heartbreaker.
I could never, though. I feel like all my emotions show on my face, and like, I feel like that's a long game. I don't want to... First of all, if we're already getting engaged, that means I'm gonna have to sleep with you. I don't want to sleep with you if I'm just using you for that, you know?
No, just tell him that you're saving it for marriage. Easy. Say, I was raised Christian. I need to save myself for marriage.
Have you seen me on my Instagram? Who is gonna believe that?
Listen, just because you look like that does not mean you know, do the thing. Yeah, you'll have to fake your name and everything too. People, you know what? You don't look like your birth name is actually that, you know?
I can, yeah. Nah, that's too much work. That I feel like, okay, it goes to the same thing as like, I don't get why people cheat because it's hard enough keeping up with one relationship.
Yeah. Especially if you actually like the person and it's like you want to be with them constantly. So like, when would you have the time?
Exactly. But I barely text back my mom or Luna. What makes you think I'm gonna text back some other motherfucker?
Guys, I'm in the same league as her mom. So like, she texts me not all the time though. Chat.
Maybe.
Let me tell you. Before we started like talking about the podcast again, let me tell you the last time Ani responded to me on Discord, alright? Hold on, let me look. December 3rd, 2024.
But I have texted you back.
She has texted me back. Let's let it be known. Through text, she responds a lot more. Discord, not so much. So if you message her on Discord and she doesn't respond to you, don't feel bad. She didn't respond to me for like a year.
Okay, to be fair, I usually don't reply back unless if I know it's important.
Yeah.
And like, oh, you need me? I got you. I'm here for you. But if it's not, like, if you're just asking me a nuanced question, like, how are you? No, this conversation's not going to go anywhere. I'm probably not going to reply back.
And she's like, oh, no, I didn't see that message. Oh, no. Yeah.
Well, To be fair, I have noticed I like conversations that have a lot more, you call it, like meaning
Yes.
behind it. Yeah.
That's
So
why
if
whenever I first started talking to you, I started off our conversation with something really stupid. I was like, "Hey, you want to know a fun fact?" And she's like, "Sure."
sure.
And then I dropped the sickest, stupidest fact I could on her, and she's like, "Damn, I like your taste of autism. Let's go."
It's because I got the same
Mhm.
little neuro spicy in me.
Exactly. Ani, we've already established we are pretty much the same person, but in different.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I want you to know, trigger warning, this has the death of people's children. The title of this is I Wish My Daughter Died Instead. So, 4 years ago, my now 16-year-old daughter was in a car accident with one of her friends' mom, and she broke her neck. Now she's completely paralyzed from the waist down in her left arm. She can basically only use her right hand. It destroys me every single day to just look over at her. I love her so much, and it pains me because she cries about her situation every single time. And every single time she cries, I feel like someone is grabbing my heart and pulling it out of my chest. Every single day, I help her get around. I put her in bed, and I take her out, and I even shower her sometimes when my wife isn't around, and I dress her up to make and do her hair and makeup and everything. I never complained about it because she's my baby, and I'll keep helping her until I physically can't anymore. But it just kills me to think about it. If I'm gone, what will happen? Because I have many health issues of my own. Heart problems run in my family, and men usually don't make it past 50 in my family. Both my dad and my grandpa died in their 50s, and my oldest brother died last year of cancer at 56. And I might very well be next. I'm at 48 now. Honestly, I'm fucking terrified of leaving her alone. She's my youngest kid, and I have 3 other kids, and every one of them has their own thing going on. And taking care of a disabled person is a huge responsibility, even if you love them very, very much. And they have all already told me they won't look after her like I do when we're gone.
That's fucked
We're just
up.
gonna. Yeah, that's really fucked up. Like, some family they are.
Bro. Okay, no, because I know mine is not as serious as this
Mhm.
because mine has to do with my cat. If I died and my cats end up back at a fucking shelter, I'm haunting every single one of you bitches. Every single one of you.
Listen, don't worry. If you die, you can send your cats to me, and I will either take care of them or make sure that they have good home to where they are cared for, not in a shelter. They're just gonna put her in some care facility. I don't blame them, but I hate that so much. Nobody's gonna love and care for her like me and my wife do. And I don't think any man would be interested in her, even though she's a wonderful person. I feel like a damn bastard for this sometimes, but I wish she just passed away that day. At least then, she wouldn't have had to live this hell. It had been hell for me, but at least she wouldn't have had to suffer like this. No parent ever wants to outlive this child, and I feel like the worst piece of shit for this, but I wouldn't mind outliving her. At least I know she was finally at peace and I wouldn't die while wondering what would happen to her. I hate myself so much for these thoughts, but they're just not going away, especially with all my health issues. I'm in pain most of the time, and my test results are bad, and I'm just tired, and I'm terrified for her of not dying in itself. That's crazy. I mean, that's something nobody really wants to. That's a lose-lose situation.
That's so fucking sad. I don't know. Because this story kind of stir up a lot of feelings.
The top-rated comment for this is, it would be worth reaching out to your local Center for Independent Living, or if the state has a College for Youth Leadership Forum for young people with disabilities to help her start and build a community for peer support. Data shows that one of the biggest indicators of positive self-image for young people with disabilities is exposed to mentors and role models with similar and different types of disabilities.
Wait,
So pretty much.
I love that.
This also was posted 15 hours ago. So this is fresh, hot off the steamer. There's, I don't know about Ohio, but a lot of places that I have heard of have pretty good disability programs. I think more out west, because Washington, where I lived before, they had like a more broad spectrum of, like if you were disabled or like struggling, they had more support out there. I don't know about Ohio. I never really looked into it, but Yeah, it's rough. Ohio doesn't exist. I'm a ghost.
We did do a poll for that one. This poll was what's your first emotional reaction to the scenario? Out of the 4 choices, deep empathy, heartbreaking but real, conflicted, complex feelings, or hard to listen to, we got 1, 1, and 1 for, which is like 33% each. Heartbreaking but real, conflicted, complex feelings, and hard to listen to. Honestly, it is a little hard to listen to just because it's like a real life situation that can happen to anyone. I know a lot of us, or at least some of us, don't have kids, but if that was me, I wouldn't know what to do either.
That's rough. Like, I kind of have almost an experience about that, but like, it's more of my brothers being idiots, and when my mom dies, she wants to make sure that they're not going to be idiots and be left out on a limb, and she wants me to take care of it, and I'm like, Mom, I'm the kind of person that literally, if they make a mess, I'm not cleaning it up for them. I will let Tyler go to prison. I will make sure Devin never sees his daughter again. And then I will make sure Michael struggles to actually pay his bills because he's not mooching off of me. Because he will not hold a job. And when he does hold a job, he doesn't pay his bills. He just expects everyone else to pay them while he's forging all his money. Yeah, literally when he lived here with my mom, he would order all kinds of Amazon packages and like all kinds of like subscriptions that he didn't even need. And he just like would bring in a bunch of stuff, especially food. And then he wouldn't even give my mom like $50 like a paycheck for gas. And I'm like, that's actually insane. Yeah, no, it was crazy. I was like, he's actually using you, Mom. Like, that's literal extortion.
See, there's a difference between like mooching off of people, and there's a difference between actually trying and having the worst luck.
Yeah, unfortunately, that does not sound like my brothers. My brothers 100% mooch off of my mother because they know she's a safety net. And I honestly was guilty of it too until I moved to Washington. Because I was like, some part in the back of your mind, you're always like, if things get bad enough, I can move back with my mom, you know? But like, while I was out there, I literally cut myself off from my mom for like almost 2 years. I didn't talk to her. I had her blocked. And I experienced how life actually is without the support of family. Like, it actually sucks so bad.
Yeah.
I was struggling constantly. I worked at Taco Bell for 2 years. Like, I had people grab me across the counter trying to hit me. Like, it was a literal hellhole. And then it got worse when I got home because I lived with my fiance's family at the time, and they would literally try to pick fights with me all the time. So it was a rough time. Strap in, Luna lore. Anyway, so I have a very strong opinion of like people who are spoiled, like my brothers, need to go out and experience life as it kicks them in the balls and not have a safety net to fall back on. And it kind of humbles them and makes them understand what they have and appreciate what they have. Because right now, none of my brothers appreciate what they have. And it's like, I will literally leave them in the lurch if they keep fucking up. Like, they have to clean up their own mess.
Yeah, no, that's fair because, like, how are they ever gonna grow up and, like, be responsible for one and two, be accountable for their whatever they're doing? Like, I totally get that. I have a friend who still lives at home, doesn't understand responsibility. She basically just pays for car insurance in her car and says some things that sometimes upset me, and I'm like, look, I have to put her in check and be like, look, you don't understand how hard it is to live on your own. You don't understand how hard it is to pay for electricity, water, rent, toiletries. You run out of toilet paper every day. You don't got mommy and daddy to buy you toilet paper the minute you move out. Even if you have a bidet, you still need some toilet paper. Make sure your ass is clean.
Sometimes people, when they're spoiled like that, especially when they rely on mommy and daddy all the time, they don't realize that, like, all the little things run out. Like, yeah, shampoo and conditioner, but also, like, toothpaste. You have to remember to grab toilet paper. You have to remember to grab hand soap. You have to remember to grab, like, stuff to clean your toilet with. That doesn't grow on trees. You have to actually go out and get, like, a toilet brush scrubber, like, chemicals to, like, make sure that your floor of the bathroom is clean, or make sure that you have the right soap to mop with. Like, all of those things you don't think about it because you always have it like handy whenever your mom's buying it. And if it runs out, you just be like, hey, I'm adding this to the list. Make sure you buy it. And then next thing you know, it's there. Like, people have to realize that, like, all these things, they don't just appear out of nowhere. You have to go out and buy them. And they get expensive, so keep
They
your
do
job.
get really expensive.
Especially if you put it off and you have to buy it all at once. Dude, that sucks.
Yeah, I just have mine on all auto deliveries on Amazon now, so. 3 months ago, this ghost we thought had been dead for like 20 years, knocked on my mom's door like it was no big deal. And let me paint the picture for you. Scruffy gray beard, hollow cheeks, dragged this busted, seen too much shit leather suitcase like it owed him rent. My sister Laura opened the door. She almost passed out. Legit. I thought she was gonna throw up or duck him or both. To really get it, you gotta go back. My mom always said our dad was a hero. A journalist locked him up overseas for speaking out against some messed up regime, fighting for truth, freedom of the press, all that. Then, a few years later came the news. He died in prison from untreated pneumonia. No funeral, just tragedy and a handful of ashes we never saw. End. Period. That was the version we grew up with. The only one we knew. The only one we believed. Laura hated him. Even with the martyr story, she never forgave him for leaving. She always said, doesn't matter how noble the excuse, gone is gone. So when she saw him standing there, all she said, and voice shaking with fury, not surprised, was, you don't get to be here. My brother Michael, different vibe. He's quiet, always thinking, always feeling more than he lets on. He stared at Dad for what felt like forever, like he was trying to figure out if this is real life or a dream. Then he asked, how'd you get out of prison? And why now? Me? I don't even know what I felt. It wasn't hate. Wasn't joy either. It was like the ground disappeared under my feet. I built this whole version of him in my head. This myth. This tragic hero. And standing there was just a tired old man. For weeks, he was like a ghost floating around the edges of our lives. Mom, not having it. She shut the door on any second chances. She wouldn't dig up the past she already buried. So guess who took him in? Aunt freaking Bertha.
Freaking Bertha. That lady.
I love the way this one writes too. I'm like, thank God I chose ones that actually know how to, who are literate. Which is fine, like if English is your second language or you're not from or a English speaking country, which I'll give you that excuse, right? And that's totally fine. But there are just some people that you know are from America and it's like, did you pass elementary school? Okay.
It's like, friend, your name is Justin. You can't tell me that you're like not speaking American.
Or English.
Yeah. Did I say speaking American? Oh my God. I meant... You know what? Let's just move on. Hold on, wait.
She said the poor guy had nowhere else to go. So she gave him a dusty little room in the back of her house. He didn't argue. He just nodded. And then one day, his body just gave up. The hospital ran a ton of tests. Nothing made sense. His immune system was shutting down. But there was no infection, no cancer. Like something was rotting. Aunt Bertha was crushed. She wasn't eating, barely sleeping. Claimed it was stress, guilt, all those years of hiding, catching up with him. Dad kept saying that his mouth felt gross. Headaches that won't quit. Like something was rotting him from the inside. Then, right before he died, he asked to see us. All of us. Not for love, not for forgiveness. Nope. Just truth or to drop a bomb and peace out, bitches. Sorry, she didn't write bitches. I added bitches, but whatever.
In my Christian neighborhood.
He could barely speak, but he was stubborn. Wouldn't rest until he got it out. Dad. I was in prison, but not for long. Yeah, I was involved in politics, but they let me go after a few months. I didn't come back because he looked at us, all three of us. Because I found out you weren't my biological kid. Silence. My brain? Crap. He went on, your mom wrote me a letter while I was locked up. She said she loved me, but she lied. She told me the truth in that letter. I felt like everything in my life was so fake, I disappeared. I faked my death, I hid. He didn't cry, he just talked. Like he'd been carrying this weight so long, and now he is finally allowed to put it down. And we just stood there, statue broken. No one said a damn word. Damn. Okay.
That's crazy.
Edit update. I think it's too long for sharing in a post. Just adding another part. After he died, things got weird. Not at first. Aunt Bertha called me 2 days after the funeral, said she couldn't stay in the house, said the room where he slept felt wrong and heavy. She swore to keep hearing some scratching noises inside the closet at night, but when she checked, nothing. Just dust and his old suitcase still zipped up sitting where he left it. That thing freaks me out. I don't know why. It was just a damn suitcase, but every time I looked at it, it felt like it was looking back. Michael opened it. That's his thing, so he did. There wasn't much inside. A couple of shirts, a half-used bar of soap wrapped in paper, ew. Some faded photos of people we didn't recognize, and this notebook. Leather bound, no title, just stuffed up pages of cramped handwriting. We took it home. Dumb idea. The first few pages were what you'd expect. Random notes, political crap, names, numbers. But then the tone shifted. Got paranoid, obsessive. He started writing like someone was watching him, following. There were some pages scratched out so hard the paper tore. There was another note, dated just a few days before he died, one of the last things he wrote. That night, I couldn't sleep. My mouth tasted weird. Bitter, metallic, almost like I've been chewing on aluminum. Laura wanted to burn it, straight up tossed it in the sink and lit up match, but the damn thing wouldn't catch. It blackened around the edges, but it never really burned. The next day, I went to see Mom. She looked worse than I've ever seen her. Like she aged 10 years in a week. She didn't even say hi, just stared out the window. Eventually, I got the nerve to ask her about the letter. Okay, the one she sent Dad when he was in prison. The one that made him disappear. I told her I wanted the truth about everything and about him and about us. About who our father really was, or if he was even the only one. She didn't speak, just turned her head slowly, gave me this look, cold and scared at the same time. Like she wanted to tell me, but her mouth wouldn't let. And then she said, "What the hell are you talking about? Are you high again?" She walked away. That night, Laura called hysterical. This is the trigger warning, y'all. She said she found Michael in the bathtub, not dead, just bleeding, just sitting there, fully clothed, muttering to himself over and over. He wasn't supposed to come back. Wasn't supposed to come back. We checked him into the clinic the next day. He hasn't said a word since. Now it's just me and this notebook. I cannot seem to throw it away. Well, sometimes I think I see him, my dad, in reflections, in places he shouldn't be. Like he never left. Like he's still watching. So I went to Aunt Bertha's place to ask her about it all. I needed answers. She let me in, but there was something off about her. Her eyes too wide, like she hasn't slept. Her hand shook when she poured me. She glanced over her shoulders as if so. I asked her about the suitcase. She didn't answer right. Then, after a long silence, she finally spoke so soft I almost didn't. I loved him. You ever wonder what mercury actually does to the body? P.S. I want to see the autopsy report. By the way, there's an edit on April 12th. It's a side story, but I think it might have something to do with it. So, should we read that too?
Maybe. But maybe that's why his mouth tasted weird and felt weird, because he had mercury poison.
Alright, so the side story was, my crush had a romantic date with my Aunt Bertha in my room. Nate. My Nate. May he rest in peace. Aunt Bertha used to babysit Laura and Michael, my younger siblings, when they were kids. I was already teens by then. Yes, technically she was our occasional babysitter, always hung around our house for her side hustle. If you read about my dad's deathbed confession, you already know who I'm talking about. That Aunt freaking Bertha. Anyway, that's not really the point right now. This particular story takes place when I was about to start high school. Around that time, the most gorgeous, hot guy I've ever seen moved into our neighborhood. Mrs. Grayson's grandson. And oh my god, Mrs. Grayson was just the cutest, sweetest little old lady, like a grandma straight out of a fairy tale. I had my own little side hustle on weekends, keeping Mrs. Grayson company every Saturday. It was during one of those visits that I learned about Nate. He was staying with her while working on some big research project for his college degree. Something about hazardous waste management. Everything about him fascinated me. Well, his passion for silence, his intelligence, and yeah, those arms.
Ooh.
I started finding ways to accidentally bump into him. Totally casual, of course. Soon Nate began showing up at my house. I know. She's barely in high school. I mean, thank God it was her crush and not like nothing ever happened, because I'd be like, jail, straight to jail. Soon Nate began showing up at my house, sometimes with ridiculous excuses like borrowing a screwdriver. Every time we ran to each other, it felt like I won a little mini victory. Aw, what a cute little high school crush. Then came that Tuesday. I remember it so clearly. I came home from school, went to my room, and there they were, Nate and Bertha in my bed. I felt so disgusted, like I bolted straight to the bathroom ready to puke. Pause here and give some context about Bertha. She was older than Nate, sure, but she was one of those women who seemed to defy aging. Plenty of women envy her for how hot she was. Me, I didn't hit the genetics as she did, but in all fairness, she wasn't really or technically my blood relative, just my mom's half-sister. I never
That is
told
your
my
blood relative. What do you mean? I'm sorry. But like,
yeah, no.
your parents' half siblings are still your blood relative. If they were like stepsisters, then yeah, she wouldn't be. But okay, I'm sorry. I was frustrated.
No, that does have a good point though, because that's still blood. You're still related through one grandparent.
Yeah, it's still like, it's not a lot of blood, but like, it's still blood.
Related is still related.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, unless if you don't want to claim them, but I mean, with the way it sounds, I don't think I'd want to claim Aunt Bertha either.
No, not after this.
I never told my parents what I saw. Honestly, if I had, that would have meant Nate wouldn't come around anymore. And yeah, it was super painful, but there was this messed up part of me that still wanted him there, even though he was totally out of my league. 5 days later, the unthinkable happened. Nate died in a lab accident. Something with a mercury spill or another chemical incident. I didn't care much about the details. I didn't care anything about science or chemistry. But the tragedy didn't stop there. Mrs. Grayson, my sweet Mrs. Grayson, passed away the same day she got the devastating news. And Bertha? She completely lost it. Oh, I get it. Losing a boyfriend is rough. I know. But seriously, they'd only been together for what? A couple weeks? After that, Bertha started acting all weird. She walked around our house in skimpy clothes, which totally drove my mom crazy. My dad, on the other hand, became her defender, her protector. Once my dad was gone and, well, supposedly passed away, and Bertha stopped coming around as often. My siblings grew up, and with time, these memories started to fade in the background. Back to the present, Laura and I were sharing a bottle of wine one night when she dropped it. I saw Dad sniffing one of Bertha's panties. I froze. Laura, I was a kid. I didn't see the point.
Okay, so after that, I have. Here's my theory. Okay, you want to hear my
Yes.
theory? So in the original story,
Hi, Buns.
right? After he went to prison, the mom sent the letter saying that the kids weren't his, right? I feel like she also found out that he and he was into Bertha, and she didn't want him around anymore. So the only thing that she knew of to get him gone was, hey,
They're not yours.
these kids ain't yours. Yeah. Because he's going to be like, oh man, I have no reason to stay. My wife's a cheater. I'm a split. I feel like she did that. And because Bertha was having sex with Nate, and he died in mercury stuff, you know?
Yeah.
He sniffed the panties, and that means he would have got the mercury in his face.
Wait, no, it was the
And
dad that was caught sniffing his panties.
Yeah.
Or her panties.
So she was sleeping with Nate, who died to mercury poisoning, right? And so that means that she may have had mercury on her from Nate. And the dad was sniffing her panties, which means
Wait, no,
where
but
the mercury
this,
was
the
would've went
second
directly
story
in-
happened when she was a teen.
Mhm. before the dad went to prison. So he would have carried that mercury poisoning all the way with him to his death.
Oh.
And that's what he died from. Nobody knew what he was dying from. And he said his mouth kept feeling wrong.
Unless if she poisoned him.
Not if... Well, Bertha might have been kind of cuckoo because of the mercury, too. They did say that she started acting funny.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know why, in my head, I think Bertha did it.
Theories abound.
I'm like,
Hi, Bun.
did she kill him?
Well, he was sleeping in her house, but I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, no, I don't know. There's so many ways that it can go, this can go about, that I'm like, it's a little sus. Like, I don't think he died of natural causes at
He
all.
definitely did.
Because when I read the first one, I was like, something sounds fishy. But then the fact that, like, the dad left and never said nothing and then just showed up, like, why are you showing up, bro? You're already dead in my eyes.
I think he knew he was dying, to be honest.
Okay, but if he already left them, like, why
We've
even
already
come
been the
back?
whole time. Yeah, exactly. Like, what was he doing? Living in, like, a locker or something? Why was he so gross and dusty? With, like, a gross old backpack or suitcase that he was carrying around, you know? Like,
He ran out for milk and cigarettes.
it took him a long time to find those.
Yeah. I think the creepiest thing was the fact that the notebook didn't, like, burn.
So, you know how the notebook didn't burn? I was wondering if mercury kept the notebook from burning, but no. Mercury would burn with it and release toxic gases into the air. Well, that's good to know.
So what you're saying is... I'm just kidding. I'm not even gonna go there. Not this time. Nah, I still think he was poisoned by the aunt.
Do ya?
Maybe. Because the aunt was, like, way older than Nate.
Mm-hmm.
Too. So how do you know that she didn't also poison Nate? Or maybe I just write too much, I write, oh my god, I don't even write true crime. Maybe I just look into true crime so much that, like, my thoughts are
Oh
misconstrued.
my gosh. The next one. Trigger warning, this does have miscarriages in it. Just so you guys know, if you are, like, sensitive to that, I'm not going to be upset if you look away. Or pause it or skip, you know? So, the title of this is Miscarriage Leads to Me Seeing My Boyfriend in a New Light. So, during a routine exam at my OBGYN last week, I, 30F, was told by my doctor that I was 8 weeks pregnant, but that it wasn't a viable pregnancy due to no heartbeat. This came as a surprise because I did experience what I thought was my period, but now I realize it was more than likely implantation bleeding. My period has always been irregular, so that also was a factor in me not immediately assuming that I was pregnant. All of that at play, along with the fact that I'm on the pill, the pregnancy itself came as a shock, let alone losing said pregnancy. I ended up passing the pregnancy at my boyfriend's 28 male's house. We don't live together yet, who I informed about everything as soon as I left the doctor's office. I was worried as to how he'd react since we've only been seeing each other since the beginning of August. He really stepped up to the plate to be there for me. Having gone through a very traumatic loss of a child before, I lost my daughter when she was 10 days old only a year ago. That's so sad. This hit me harder than I was expecting due to my history of loss. He held my hand as I experienced the cramps, held my hair as I puked, held me as I cried. He was just everything I needed him to be without asking him or even realizing what I needed myself. Eventually, I passed out and I woke up, but he wasn't in bed with me. I started to head downstairs when I saw him coming in from getting the dogs out. He started putting their food out and was saying how there was almost another little baby here in a few months, but the big man had other plans. He just stood there for a minute and started wiping his eyes before he told the dog that he needed to go upstairs and check on Mama. I got back in bed before he knew I was awake, and he wrapped his arms around me and fell asleep pretty quick. Having been in a previous relationship with my ex, who not only cheated on me, but was physically abusive to me, seeing my relatively new boyfriend show such compassion and love towards me healed parts of me that I didn't even know needed fixed. Even during such a personal turmoil with my miscarriage and overall state of the political climate of the US right now, it's heartwarming to know that goodness still exists in the world.
Oh, that was a good one to end on.
It was posted 11 hours ago. Dude, that was so sweet.
That's rough. I feel like that's super rough.
Yeah. Poor lady.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, the fact that she carried full term and had a baby and the baby passed after 10 days. That's fucking devastating.
Yeah.
But at least, like, you know, she found someone who restores her faith in humanity.
Honestly, like, having been in a relationship that they were physically abusive and all of that, like, I'm assuming it was the previous baby's father, maybe?
Yeah.
It doesn't really say. But, like, if he, like, assaulted her while she was pregnant, that could have led to the death of her child. So trusting people and opening up to somebody in order to date them probably took a lot, and then finding out, like, hey, he's actually, like, compassionate and good. Like, that probably was, like, I don't know, that probably reached parts of her that she didn't realize needed, healing.
The part where he put out the dog's food and was saying that there's almost another little baby there in a few months, but the big man had other plans. I was like, oh, no.
So sad. But, like, that actually just, like, shows, I don't know, if he didn't know that she was there and, like, didn't know she was awake and he was, like, talking to the dogs like that, he probably just needed to express it.
Yeah.
So, like, he probably also has big feelings, but he understands, hey, her feelings are probably a lot more. So, like, that shows emotional maturity, too. And we love that. We love that so much. Men, women, take note. Emotional maturity.
She's got a good one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I know, like, a miscarriage can ruin a lot of relationships, too, or, like, going through something that traumatic. And I'm
and
not
a lot
saying
of
all,
times,
right? But, like,
yeah,
the
and a lot of times
guys...
men, they blame the women for having the miscarriage. So, like, that could also affect the relationship.
But first of all, I have something to say about that because you know it's the man's sperm, the why the baby is not healthy, and it is men's fault, scientifically proven, that the reason why some women get really, really, really fucking bad morning sickness or whatever is because the man's sperm is not healthy.
Did you know? Okay, so the reason why, like, a man smells good to you whenever they're, like, sweaty and stuff is because that's their immune system being opposite to you than yours. So that's your body being like, hey, their immune system is opposite to mine. They would, like, be a good mate to have healthy children because my immune system and their immune system would protect the child more.
Yeah, I think the way I saw it was like from what I heard at a younger age was um if a man smells good to you, like naturally good, out the shower, don't like you wash yourself, but like don't use anything scented and make sure he's actually or his scent is naturally something that attracts you. A lot of that has to do with his pheromones and stuff and how compatible you guys are. I made Jeff take a shower when we first were talking and I was like, yeah, I need to know. I need to know now before this goes anywhere. It was like within the first few months of us dating. And I was like, get in the shower. Go wash off.
Yeah, no, I think that's also like the pheromones and stuff. That's what they mean. Like, if they smell really good, it's their immune system. It's all the men's fault. I tell you, heck the men.
I mean, like looking into it, right? So, like back in the day, like let's take the Tudors for example. Like how King Henry thought it was the woman's fault for not bearing him a male heir.
Mhm.
Bro, you were drinking every day. You were fat. You had what do you call it? Gout, bruh. How do you expect to have a healthy child?
No expectations here. But like
I
every
know.
single time they failed, old buddy gave him a haircut up to here, man. I tell you.
Well, what do you call it? I believe that from what I've heard, you can like fact check me on this. If you are trying to conceive, the male should at least stop smoking and stop drinking for at least 6 months and have a healthy diet for the best optimal, outcome.
Yeah, smoking and drinking, and also something else prevents it. What is it?
Hot showers gives you blank sperm.
I
Blank
also
swimmers.
I know energy drinks, they damage your sperm, so no energy drinks. Very few things with caffeine, like coffee. If you drink coffee with like a lot of caffeine in it, it can damage it. Also, I think that's it. Like, eat plenty of red meat, lots of vegetables, not a whole lot of processed food, no energy drinks, no smoking, and no drinking. So, like, that gives your sperm the best ability to go do the thing. That's medical facts with Luna. You're welcome.
If anyone's trying to, conceive, there you go. You got all the tips. All the tips.
So, that wraps up this week's chaos.
If he had strong opinions, good. If you're mad, also good. That means it worked.
This has been CTRL+Drama with Luna.
And Donnie.
If you're watching live, thank you so much for hanging out with us on Twitch. If you're listening later, you can find CTRL+Drama on YouTube and Spotify, new episodes every Friday, and at the latest Saturday morning. We'll see you next week with the chronically online nonsense.
All right, guys.